more and more people I speak with, especially since the worldwide disruption that was caused in the pandemic, really having sophisticated plans of redundancy throughout their supplier base. And that's become a big part of their technology play.
Yes.
So how about what are you guys doing?
Yeah. So from a supplier management perspective, I would say, I'll start with supplier performance management and the way that we manage, the performance of our vendors. I would say we have a strong lead at the moment at the platform that's rolling out a standard for how we measure supplier performance, both in the US and across the globe. Historically, we would have a standard based on the vertical or accounts or who's leading that account. This is now a standard that we're rolling out, and it's going to capture all the elements of supplier performance management, from cost, quality, delivery, innovation, so on and so forth, to kind of bring the full scope of supplier performance as a standard to our clients. And so you ask about the redundancy aspect of things. I think, if you look at the disruption in the market today from a supply chain perspective, especially with tariffs now and things like that, there's different levels of the supply chain that are impacted sooner versus later. And so, if you talk to someone in manufacturing, the disruption is immediate, right? If you talk to somebody in, facility management services like us, we're a bit further down the supply chain, so it's not as impactful immediately, but there is some impacts that we try to prepare for, and we really partner with our preferred vendors to help us come up with those mitigation strategies, to the point where they're giving us monthly updates on, how, say, the tariff impacts are trickling down into how they buy consumables as part of their delivery of service to us. How they, if we're talking about buying HVAC equipment, how the steel market has been affected, things of that nature. And we also have a healthy set of resources internally that report on these things, just, from a global perspective. And we'll bring these folks on our client calls and talk through those impacts. So we have a lot of resources at our disposal to help with those mitigation strategies and tactics. But I would say, like, facility management is further down the supply chain, so it's not as disruptive, I'd say, as, say, other industries.